Good evening and welcome. You are watching the big story on NDTV Profit and I'm Nupur Talwar Suri. The echoes of the past are back to haunt Mumbai with a troubling resurgence in organised crime. NCP leader and three-time MLA Baba Siddique was shot dead at point-blank range in the heart of Mumbai. The assassination was planned for more than a month and was executed under the cover of a Dussehra procession. The murder has raised several questions around law enforcement and the safety of ordinary citizens. Now, this evening on The Big Story, we discuss the implications of this killing and the questions that it brings up. In fact, the three big questions that we are asking this evening. Number one, is the underworld back in Mumbai? Does Baba Siddique's murder have links to the D Company and Bollywood? And how will law enforcement deal with gangsters operating from jails? And to answer several of those questions, we'll have a panel join us in a bit. But first, we go across to Jitendra Dixit from NDTV India. Jitendra, hi. Jitendra, now, this murder has really shocked Mumbai. Firstly, it was the brazen manner in which it was carried out. It took place in the heart of Mumbai. And do you think that this is now being seen as a comeback of organized crime in Mumbai? Because we've seen a lull for a very long time.
Yeah, exactly, Nupur. See, what has happened is, since over a decade's time, there has been no underworld activity in Mumbai. Most of the underworld gangs, organized crime syndicates, which were active in city during the decades of 80s and 90s, have been neutralized by the cops. Most of them have been either killed in the controversial policy of encounters. Most of the foot soldiers of these gangs have been killed, or they have been arrested under stringent laws like Maharashtra Control of Organized Crime Act, which is also known as Makoka. So most of the foot soldiers and gang members, shooters and hitmen, they are no longer available with these organized crime syndicates. Moreover, the leaders of these gangs, most of them, they are also behind the bars. Chota Rajan is imprisoned. He has been sentenced for life imprisonment for a murder case for killing journalist J.D. Abu Salem is also undergoing life imprisonment. Arun Gowli, he is also undergoing life imprisonment. Then Ashwin Nayak, who was also a gang leader, he has quit underworld and now he has become a real estate businessman. As far as D Company is concerned, Daud Ibrahim's gang is concerned, Daud Ibrahim's gang is no longer active in Mumbai. Daud gang has not fired a single shot in the city of Mumbai since 2002. The last incident done by Daud Ibrahim gang was that of a murder of a cable operator named Ali Nanyani in 2002. But since then, no activity has been reported from Daud's gang. In 2003, Daud Ibrahim's younger brother Iqbal Kaskar was deported to India from UAE, and after that, Daud Ibrahim's gang decided to lie low and has not been active in the city. So there is a vacuum in Mumbai underworld, as most of the gangs are not active. Even the B-listers, the small-time gangsters like Ravi Pujari and Bunty Pandey, they are also not active. They have been also arrested. So I think that Lawrence Bishnoi gang, a gangster from North India, is trying to fill up that vacuum.
Okay. Now, Jitendra, also, you know, what a court... Right. I just wanted to... you think that this is a vacuum that is there and there's a new gangster who wants to occupy that space. But I also want to ask you, in terms of political repercussions, how do you see this impacting the, upcoming elections in Maharashtra?
See, after this incident, this particular incident of Baba Siddique getting killed by this gang, I think Devendra Fadnavis, as the Home Minister of Maharashtra, is in hot water. He has landed up in hot water because already he was being grilled by the opposition parties. He was being dogged by the opposition parties for deteriorating law and order situation in Mumbai and across other parts of Maharashtra. There have been incidents of communal clashes, there have been incidents of violence, there have been incidents of politicians getting killed in last few years when Devendra Fadnavis has been Home Minister of the state. So it has given an opportunity for the opposition party, for the Maha Vikas Aghadi, to put Devendra Fadnavis, especially, and Mahayuti, the ruling alliance, into the dock and make it a political issue. I think by tomorrow or day after, the election dates will be announced, and I think this killing of a politician, killing of Baba Siddique, will be a big political issue for the opposition party.
All right, Jitendra Dixit from NDTV India, thank you very much for joining us and taking us through what you feel will be the big impact of this killing. Now, also joining us on the show this evening, our advocate Dharmaraj Vanjari, he's a former ACP of Mumbai, Tejas Mehta, who's a political commentator, and Dr. Sujay Kantawala, he's a senior lawyer. Good evening, all three of you gentlemen, and thank you very much for joining us. Advocate Vanjari, if I could come to you first. Now, there have been two incidents in which we have seen the involvement of the Lawrence Bishnoi gang. One, of course, was that shooting that took place outside Salman Khan's house, and now this major incident that they have managed to carry out, that is the assassination of Baba Siddique. The Lawrence Bishnoi gang is operated by Lawrence Bishnoi out of a prison, and that obviously raises a lot of questions about law enforcement. How do you see what has happened?
He is not the only gangster who is operating from prison. Almost all gangsters have their modus operandi to operate from prison, because in the prison they feel they are very safe. If tomorrow somebody will ask to Arun Gavli, are you ready to go out on bail? He would say, no, I'm happy over here. So these are the things. So gangs are operating from prison is one thing. Second thing, the magnitude of this Bishnoi gang, if you take into consideration, there are 7 countries other than India where they have their network and their roots as per the recent intelligence available. That shows the magnanimous growth the gang has done. And there was no time, as somebody was telling, there is vacuum. I will never say there is vacuum of gangsters, because this city, being a financial economic capital of the country, always was attraction for gangsters for extortion and economic. Finance is the main purpose. Now in this also, there must be a financial threat involved. No doubt it was counter killing, no doubt it was Bishnu's gang, but as whose instant they are doing, that's a main crux and a challenge before police for investigating this matter. Coming to the Bishnoi's operation, if Bishnoi has done it, and if Bishnoi is claiming that he has a sort of a legacy with Salman Khan and that's why we have done it, I, being a cop, I will not believe bluntly on this theory unless there is something concrete comes out.
Dr. Kantawala, as I was saying, this is a murder that was conducted in the heart of Mumbai. It was a brazen murder. It obviously does raise questions about law enforcement. It also raises a lot of questions around safety and security of ordinary citizens. How do you see it?
Well, having been born in this city, having grown up here, and now surviving here from the last 57 years, can you imagine the psyche of the normal Mumbaikar? Apart from anything else, can you imagine the psyche of somebody who's planning to come and settle down here, invest in this city? These are issues which are burning today. Article 21 of our Constitution guarantees each of us protections for our life and liberty. Today, in fact, was the historical day when Baba Saheb Ambedkar, who actually gave us our constitution, along with 5 lakh followers, embraced Buddhism. It's an historical day, and we are debating this. So these are very, very serious issues. Why can't the normal Mumbaikar rest, enjoy, and live a quality life? This is not the only murder we have seen. We have seen murder after murder, not only of politicians, also businessmen, lawyers, other people, doctors. We are seeing that regularly on a regular basis. You know why? Because the persons who are carrying out these gruesome acts don't have fear. They know that eventually this trial may take 15, 20 or whatever years, and they'll be out on bail. This is the difficulty. You asked your fellow journalist about the corruption in jails. one has to just go and see the extent of corruption that is witnessed in jails. It's an open secret. There is nothing to hide about. Even from a chapati to a newspaper to a bedroll to using the toilet, everything is paid for. It's all available in jails. So who are we fooling today? This is a mockery. And therefore, unless the powers that be and the people whom we elect take this very seriously, and let me tell you, how much is the judiciary alone going to do? They are also handicapped for so many reasons. So unless we don't have the people who are supposed to be in uniform pulling up their socks and ensuring that there is a fear of the law in the minds of people who are about to commit gruesome acts. Not only on, we are not only talking about murders, we are talking about serious violent crimes against children, against our sisters.
Absolutely.
And who is answerable? Who is answerable? Who is accountable? Can't we have a swift justice system? We have all the laws in place, the new
Absolutely.
criminal laws, etc. But what about its implementation? And that is the psyche which the Mumbaikar like me is now going through.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And as you said, and Advocate Vanjari said, there is a lot of money in this city and people want to come here, earn a living and feel safe. Tejas, I want to bring you into this. Tejas, this murder has the makings of a potboiler. Everything from Bollywood to politics to past rivalries seems to be coming to the fore. But what do you think will be the implications on the assembly elections that are just round the corner?
Well, they're going to be, the impact is going to be twofold. First of all, as Jitendra Dixit was pointing out, it's on the political characters just now who are occupying ministerial space or in the cabinet. Pressure is certainly on them because this was not just anybody. This was Baba Siddique, a very senior veteran leader who was in the Congress party for 40 years, now has joined the NCP Ajit Pawar, party and is now almost like an ally of the BJP and the Shiv Sena. So this becomes a little embarrassing for the government. And also the fact that this happened on Dussehra, there is so much security. Of course, there is a lot of confusion whether he had Y-level security or not. The police is now saying that is not true. There was only one constable, and that constable also was incapacitated by pepper spray. And then they attacked Baba Siddique by apparently first also ensuring that they had some smoke bomb which went off so that nobody could see what was happening, and in that confusion, in that melee, they really shot him. So I think what the sheer planning of this is going to send shivers down the spine of politicians. I think that is going to be the biggest handicap this election, because they will have to come out to a campaign. They'll have to be out there with people, and this thought will always be there behind, what if I could be the next target? Anybody could be a target. This could give a little bit of impunity to others who have other interests, other agendas, other vested interests to target other politicians. It could also be somebody like a Salman Khan who is facing that same risk. It could also be the copy leaders in the corporate world. So I think it has a lot of implications given the fact that this was a senior leader. And also the fact is, again, Jitendra Dixit pointed out, I also do agree that, until yesterday, we didn't know almost who Lawrence Bishnoi was, because, we heard of him, we didn't take him very seriously. And this is exactly what has happened now. We're taking him seriously. We're debating on national television who Lawrence Bishnoi is. This is exactly what he wanted, because with the fact that there aren't any gangs here, somebody has now filled that vacuum, and this could lead to extortion. It could lead to, again, that the world we saw in the 90s. But I do agree with a lot of commentators who are saying this is not really return of the gang war era. There is only one gang which is trying to come back. But a lot of I think exaggeration has also been made by the opposition regarding the fact that people are scared. People are scared if, a politician has been targeted. What about the common man? Well, I simply don't agree, because people are smart enough to understand this is a targeted killing. This is targeting one politician, very well planned, and sitting from jail. This is not targeting, you and me or anybody else on the streets. What people get scared of are when crimes against women take place, against children take place, gruesome murders, rapes. That's where people, get scared. And this is not one of those type of, crimes which have taken place.
Tejas, it does impact the public perception of the financial capital of India. In that sense, it does impact that and raises questions about law enforcement largely. Advocate Vanjari, you were taking us through the operations of the Lawrence Bishnoi gang. Now, you yourself pointed out it's running in 7 countries, it's huge, and despite the fact that it's, the man behind it is sitting in prison, he's able to control it. Now, I don't think that's an excuse and should not be one for him to be operating with such impunity.
There are gangsters now. I will, just for the sake of information, I will define a residence gangster and non-residence gangster. Doubt was that, and Shakil was the first non-resident gangster. They have started operation from outside the India. And Gauli and other all these things, they are operating from India. One very conspicuous point, one should try to understand, that no gangster can operate without a political patronage. It will be enough bold to say that, but I have my experience and the experience of the late Balasaheb Thackeray, who has said कि आपका अगर दाऊद है तो हमारा अरुण गवली है, Hindu Don. See the connection, see the analogy, where it takes you. The moment, the way, the speed with which criminalization of politics is happening in this country, in all states, these gangs are coming out, they are operating. The situation said about a common man, where it was explained. I say, you just think of a situation in other states like UP. No doubt Mumbai is known for its more glamour economically. That glamour goes through to nowadays from 1 to 2, 2 to 3 pages. First is gold, another is drug, third is lust. The film industry is there. Everyone wants that. And there was no era when the gangs were not operating. Sometimes they shifted from builders to filmmakers, from filmmakers to drug lobby, from drug lobby to gold lobby. These are the inevitable things right from the time of Rashid Arba, Karim Lala, and Haji Mastan. The operations are going on. Why? Why this? These gangs are under political patronage, some way or other. We had a time when I was working in crime branch. In a year, 250 criminals were eliminated in police encounters. I ask a simple question today. Why Arun Gavli, Tao, Chota Rajan, these main kingpin of the gangs, could never be eliminated? Who is supporting them? Who is favoring them? How we can say, as rightly been said by doctor, that yes, our politicians need to take care of this. The system has become so much corrupt, and when these gangsters are not there, or suppose these gangsters are not available for specific purpose, with my shock and surprise, I mentioned on your channel that they have created gangs from within the police administration. Who is Sachin Waje? Who is Pradeep Sharma? Who are Parambir Singhs? All these people, extortion, even your home minister was in the prison for about 2 years in extortion case of 100 crores. What is this going on? Now for a common man, it's a big time to think of his own progressive democracy or a regressive something nationalism or some whatever is happening. Very significantly, this has happened just before election been declared, and it has its own significance. Definitely it will have effect on the forthcoming election. The time will tell us what is the truth.
Absolutely. Let me put that question to Dr. Kantawala. Dr. Kantawala, do you agree that there has to be political patronage for organized crime to flourish as it is in this particular case? And what do you think will be the ramifications in the upcoming elections?
We all live in the society we are all exposed in our own way to all of this, either through the media or through in person or through other experiences of others. Now, let me give an example. You just see what is trending today on social platforms or maybe OTT. You'll all see this extreme, gruesome, violent serials, violent cells. And therefore, people who come from villages, people who are below the poverty line, and then they see Mumbai as this place full of gold, diamonds, film industry, then they come with aspirations. So therefore, there are people who feed on this greed, this aspiration. I'm sure that Vanjari Saab is referring to those kind of guys who are always behind the scenes, but use these people as a pawn for their nefarious activities. Now, this particular incident that we are discussing, yes, look at the takeaways: sympathy votes, law and order problem, shift in political dynamics. There's going to be a community impact and increased security. And you know who's going to suffer from that increased security? Mumbaikars like you and me, who are on the street over there, who trudge in trains and buses and cabs and go about their daily activities. We are going to face the brunt of all these issues. This is the difficulty that I foresee. So unless we as a people hold the powers that be and people whom we have elected accountable, look at the public memory. It's so short. In few days, people forget things. I mean, I remember the gruesome murder that took place of advocate Purya Kayastha. That Sajjad Mughal was the watchman. Ultimately, he was convicted. He jumped bail. He was again arrested. Why don't we have capital punishment? Do you have the right to take away somebody's life? Do you have the right to snuff out somebody's life? Do you have the right to commit violent crimes against kids, brutally rape and mutilate them and get away? As a society, can we permit this to happen?
Absolutely.
These are questions that you need to expose and bring in front of everyone.
Absolutely. So you're saying that this does throw up larger questions. Tejas, your final thoughts on how do you see this unfolding politically? Obviously, we are going to see a lot of sympathy wave. This violence also will be linked to what we've seen in the coalition politics of Maharashtra in the past few years. It's not been a rosy picture. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think first of all, not just politicians across party lines, but also the public is very keen to know who actually is behind this. As Advocate Dharmaraj was saying, that we need to get to the bottom of this. How can a gangster who is inside a central prison, first in Tihar, now in Sabarmati jail in Ahmedabad, how can he be operating with this sort of with this confidence, without a care for the world? I mean, naturally somebody is helping him. Somebody has to be, feeding a person like this. Otherwise, it's almost impossible. Even I do recall, when riots used to take place in Maharashtra, I met a senior cop and he said, if a politician wants to stop a riot, it's very, very easy to stop. He just has to simply order. And this is exactly what is happening here. Somebody is, sponsoring, is backing this man. Otherwise, sophisticated weapons which have come in and have been found with, all these shooters, Glocks and, 9.9 guns, 28 rounds, many other things. I mean, it's not so easily accessible. So who are the people who are behind this? Who are the people who are planning this? And I think that is something which is of primary concern to Mumbaikars and to politicians. Secondly, I think there is going to be, as I said, a huge impact on the elections, given the fact that this is going to now, people are going to be extremely careful where they are going, what is the exposure they are having, are they having bulletproof jackets? I mean, not just politicians. Remember, you have, jewelers, you have builders, you have actors, you have cine stars, you have all sorts of people in Mumbai who have the wealth, who have the money, stockbrokers. everybody is going to be, on tenterhooks, given the fact that they do know that when an act of violence of this level happens, a gang comes and says, we are the ones who have done it, not once, but they have done it in several other states and across the other side of the world, also in Canada.
Yes.
That sends a message that we are here. And please beware, we could come after anybody. It also could, give that push required to, smaller local gundas and elements who want to create trouble and want to earn a quick buck.
All right, so the larger picture that you think is going to be emerging is one of fear, and obviously perhaps it will now become part of the political narrative that we're going to see setting into the elections. All three of you gentlemen, I'm afraid we're running out of time. Thank you very much for joining us on The Big Story this evening. Well, with that, it is a wrap on The Big Story this evening. Thank you very much for joining in, but do stay with us on NDTV Profit for more.